Tonight, when the sun goes down, you're going to flip a switch. Light will flood the room and you won't think twice about it. But for 99.9% of human history, that switch didn't exist. When the sun set, the world went dark. And what your ancestors did in that darkness rewrites everything you think you know about sleep, community, and the human mind. They didn't huddle in fear. They didn't wait for morning. They came alive. Anthropologist Polly Wiesner spent years studying the Jew/Han Bushmen of the Kalahari. In 2014, she published a landmark study comparing daytime conversation to nighttime conversation around the fire. During the day, people talked logistics. Who was hunting where? What needed fixing? Conflict? Survival. But at night, something shifted entirely. Over 81% of nighttime conversation was stories. Long, vivid, imaginative stories about people who weren't there, places no one had been, events long past or not yet real. Wiesner argued that firelight storytelling was the engine that built human social imagination. The first time your species could mentally inhabit another life, feel something for an absent person, imagine a future that didn't exist yet. Empathy, abstract thought, culture itself, all of it born at night. Researcher Dennis Sangath places controlled fire use at least 400,000 years ago. That is 400,000 years of nighttime fire circles shaping the human brain. The calm you feel staring into a flame. The way your voice softens after dark. The pull toward honesty and story late at night. That is not coincidence. That is ancient conditioning written into your nervous system. Your ancestors also slept differently. In 2015, psychiatrist Thomas Wehr at the National Institute of Mental Health removed all artificial light from volunteers' lives. Within weeks, every subject shifted to biphasic sleep. 4 hours, then a wakeful gap of 1 to 2 hours, then 4 more hours. 2 sleeps, with quiet time in the middle. Historian Roger Ekirch had already found this pattern everywhere in pre-industrial records. Medieval monks called it first sleep and second sleep. People across centuries wrote about waking at midnight as completely ordinary. In that gap, people prayed, talked, interpreted their dreams. They lay in a state closer to meditation than wakefulness, a soft, interior hour that modern life has erased entirely. But go back even further. Before fire, before language. The dark was lethal. Primatologist Robert Isbell documented that the apex predators of early humans, lions, leopards, hyenas, are overwhelmingly nocturnal. For millions of years, darkness was the window when death was most likely to arrive. The unease you feel in a pitch-black room is not irrational. It is a biological memory of that era, passed down through every ancestor who survived it. So your species evolved 2 contradictory relationships with the night. Fear of its edges, hunger for what happened at its center. Fire was the answer. It created a boundary, a circle where the nervous system could finally exhale. And inside that exhale, everything else became possible. The stories, the laughter, the quiet midnight conversation, the dreams paid attention to while they were still fresh. The fire circle was the first room, the first interior space in human experience, and you still carry it. When something loosens in you after 10 p.m., a permission to be less guarded, more honest, more reflective, that is not a quirk. That is your ancient circadian rhythm activating on schedule. When you lie awake at 3 a.m. turning a thought over slowly, you may be sitting in the remnant of that second sleep window, the quiet hour your nervous system still expects. Modern life has collapsed the night into a single block between 2 alarms. But your mind was built for fire, for story, for 2 sleeps with a living hour between them, for a world where darkness was not a void to push through, but a second space to enter. The ancient night was not empty. It was the original classroom, the first place your species sat down not to survive, but to think, to feel, to imagine. Tonight, when the sun goes down and you flip that switch, the room will flood with light and you won't think twice about it. But somewhere in you, in the part that softens after midnight, that wakes in the deep quiet and feels briefly more alive than in any busy hour, somewhere in there, the fire is still burning.